Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. Got another matchup of 4 brand new decks for you. I will be playing all of them as is how the channel started. It's almost a full pod of Final Fantasy characters, but we do have one weird little offset deck. So the way this works is I'm going to be playing all 4 decks by myself to test them against each other, see if I can find any weaknesses across the decks, where to improve them, and to make sure I'm trying to get better at remembering triggers and paying attention to the board state. As always, to help speed things up a little bit, I've gone through the first 4 turns already, which are normally just play a land and pass. Actually, a few cards have been played. We'll go over them as we hit each of those decks, but let's go ahead and jump into turn 5. We are starting here with Azusa Lost But Seeking. This is my Helix Pinnacle deck. So if you're not familiar, the enchantment Helix Pinnacle essentially says pay X mana, put X counters on Helix Pinnacle. When it has 100 counters, you win the game. I like it. I love alt win cons, so I've always wanted to try and put it in decks, and it always ends up coming out, so I decided to build a deck around it. So this is a mono green deck. It's going to be interesting because it's not going to be any good. This is definitely a bracket 2, maybe even a bracket 1 deck. And so it is ill-suited against the other decks, to be fair. But at the same time, that's part of the fun. It's part of the experiment. If I sat down with a pod and people didn't do a good enough job explaining what their decks do, and people didn't believe me when I said I had a bracket 1, how does it fare against real decks? All we've been able to do over here is ramp a little bit. We played and cracked a Mirrored Landscape. We got a Tamiyo's Journal out on turn 4, which says at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate, which is making a clue token. Then you can tap it and sacrifice 3 clues to search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. I have played this once against real people. It's basically just mana rocks, mana ramp, and mana dorks to try and have as much possible available mana to dump into the Helix Pinnacle. There are a few ways to get the Helix Pinnacle, one of which being Tamiyo's Journal, and then there's a few things that kind of protect it, but there's not much. Really, it's about getting it back out of the graveyard if someone does enchantment destroy it. So we're going to go ahead and untap over here. Upkeep. Draw a card for turn. I will play a forest. Tap 2 for a 3 visits, which says search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle. Nice thing about 3 visits is it does say just put it on the battlefield, not tapped. I will then tap 3 mana to play Azusa Lost But Seeking. She is a 1/2 that says you may play an additional 2 lands on each of your turns. I will play a forest for turn. Unfortunately, that is the only additional forest I have in my hand. I'm going to tap 3 last mana to play Overgrowth onto this forest, which is an enchantment. It says enchanted land is tapped for mana. Its controller adds an additional 2 green. So now this one forest taps for 3 green mana. Also, I already forgot a trigger when I just explained it. At my upkeep of turn 5, I got a clue token from Tamiyo's Journal. That's all we've got right now. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. I really appreciate everyone checking out the episode. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on my other socials, specifically Blue Sky. The Unskilled Commander was created specifically to have an extra way of raising money for Extra Life each year, so I do charity streams on Twitch with other really awesome content creators doing Commander games. I have some coming up in August. It's a lot of fun, so check those out, and make sure you follow so that you know when I'm going live. And I also plan on doing some gaming streams, like I haven't played Halo ever, so I'm going to be playing Halo on Twitch. Over here, we're going to untap, upkeep, and draw for Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy. She is a 2/2 with lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Aerith, and whenever she dies, you can put X/1/1 counters onto each legendary creature you control, where X is the counters on her. We did get Aerith onto the battlefield after playing the Life Creed Duo, so we gained a life when she entered. We also have Commander Sphere and Arcane Signet. Life Creed Duo just is a 1/2 flyer that says when another creature enters, you gain a life. I'm going to play a Plains for turn. I will then tap 5 for Minwu White Mage. It's a 3/3 with Vigilance and Lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. It is a cleric, and more noticeably, so is Aerith. So what happens is it enters the battlefield. Life Creed Duo sees it. I gain a life, which means Aerith gets a counter, but I gained a life, so that means Minwu gets a counter, and Aerith gets another one. And we are up to 30 life. I'll explain why we were down in the first place once we get to it. So right now, Aerith is a 3, or actually she's a 5/5 with lifelink. And normally I really wouldn't swing with her just yet, but because we lost so much life and we are in danger, for other reasons as well, I will swing her over at you because you only have a 1/2 blocker, and it's your commander. Now that commander is not vital to the deck, so they probably would block with it. and now Azusa costs 2 more to cast, but we still gain the 5 life. We gained life, so she will get another counter, this will get a counter, and then she'll get 1 more. Great synergy, it's a lot of fun, and this is designed to be a life gain angel deck. So I do have angels in here so that they can swing in the air and do some actual damage along with some lifelink. Nothing I can do with my remaining 2 mana, so I will go ahead and pass turn. We come over here, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Black Waltz number 3, the second Final Fantasy deck. It is a 2/2 flying death touch. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Waltz deals 2 damage to each creature, or to each opponent rather. We also were able to play Mysidian Elder, a 1/3 that says when this creature enters, make a 0/1 black wizard creature token that says whenever you cast a creature spell, a non-creature spell, this token does 1 damage to each opponent. So there's our token. We also had a Soul Ring come out turn 1, which is how we got Black Waltz out pretty early. But we have yet to actually play any non-creature spells so far with those things out. Going to play a Mountain for turn. Going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 of which being black. To cast the sorcery, Stir the Sands. Create 3 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. On cast, Black Waltz and the wizard token will deal damage to each of our opponents for a total of 3 to each opponent. We have 2 mana left. Unfortunately, nothing we can really do with it right now. We do have a flying death touch commander that we could swing with, but I'd rather keep that up for Arieth trying to gain life perhaps, and our final combatant. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Passing to the deck that's probably going to win because it is an incredibly powerful commander. We're going to untap, upkeep, and draw over here with Tifa Lockhart, the first Final Fantasy deck that I actually built, and it's the last one of this matchup. She is incredibly powerful. She is a 1/2 for only 2 mana that says trample and landfall. When a land you control enters, double Tifa's power until end of turn. Originally, when I built it, I thought it was power and toughness. When I realized, thanks to Strixhaven Dropout's video, easily a couple weeks after I was built the deck and was playtesting it, I was like, oh, wait, that only is the front half. So she's not quite as good as I originally thought, because you can bump her up to make her a 64 power or something crazy, but she still has a 2 toughness. So you could take out an opponent with commander damage because she has trample, but all they have to do is chump block with something small, and now you have to recast her, she doesn't have haste, etc. But this I built with enchantments in mind, as opposed to the more obvious equipment deck, because I have equipment decks that I already like for commanders. I didn't want to just rinse and repeat and always have the same equipment, same everything. I like to try and keep things fun and different. There's so many cards in Magic, why just build carbon copies with different commanders of the same thing? Gotta try and keep things different. Now, that is not to say there aren't equipments in here. There's approximately 4 or 5 equipments, most of which are designed to just protect Tifa, with one of them being extremely good for the deck adventuring gear. Able to get a lot out. Even though it's only 4 mana on the table because we didn't ramp, but what happened was we were able to put a Destiny Spinner out, which is a 2/3 that says creatures and enchantment spells you cast can't be countered. Then we were able to get out Tifa, Emerald Medallion, and the enchantment Arachnoform. Arachnoform says enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has reach and is every creature type. Now the point being is I drew into Emerald Medallion on turn 1 or 2. So I cast that first, and now Destiny Spinner, Tifa, and Arachnoform all cost 1 green because they were all 2-drops. So on turn 3 I was able to literally drop all of them and get going. Then on turn 4 with 4 mana I was able to cast Unnatural Growth, an enchantment that says at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So last turn, Tifa ended up being a 12/12 or 12/13 with trample. So I swung her at the life gain deck, which is why Arieth was down so much and has 12 commander damage. Because at the time, I wasn't going to block with the only creatures I had out, which were Arieth and the Life Creed duo, because it's all about the life gain. I wanted to keep them out, so I took all of it. Starting turn 5 over here, we're going to play a forest for turn. We will tap 3 to play Sky Shroud Claim. Search your library for up to 2 forest cards, put them on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And they don't say come in tap, so it's just going to put 2 lands onto the battlefield. Currently, with the enchantment, Tifa is a 3/4. So when the first land hits, she's going to become a 6/4, and then when the other land comes in, she's going to be a 12/4. Then we move to the beginning of combat, which doubles it again, which makes her a 24/8 with trample. You can see why things are a little lopsided in this matchup, especially with poor Helix Pinnacle. However, we really did just get lucky with those first couple of top decks, because The opening hand of Tifa was decent. It had Destiny Spinner and I think the enchantment, which is great. But then I drew into Emerald Medallion and Unnatural Growth. That early, it's just insane. So as I said, we've got a 24/8 commander with trample. Depending on where we swing it, it's probably going to take out one person. They have no creatures over here, so we could absolutely take them out of the game. They already have 12 commander damage, so with their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defense, that's 19 commander getting through over here. That's enough for commander damage. And then over here, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 toughness off of the 24. That's 18 commander damage. So we cannot take them out. But one of the things I've learned is that with commander damage, once you get going, you really need to stay focused on the same person. Spreading it out is good early game just to show that you're not trying to be a jerk. As we can see, this game is going in Tifa's favor quite early. Because she is just a top tier commander. Really, I love it. I love how fun she is, but it's a little, I don't want to say broken, but she's pretty strong. She's easily become one of my absolute best decks, and I've only had her for a month and a half, if that. Unfortunately, Tifa won't really come out and see play very often because she's so powerful, because I don't want to just stomp the table. That's not fun. That's not fair. It's oh, cool, turn 6, I win. Well, okay. It's a fun little show off, and I accidentally did that with a group of friends online. If you are looking to build a Final Fantasy commander, I certainly recommend Tifa if you like green. So I'm going to move to combat. Unnatural Growth triggers. We are at the 24/8 we said. We swing over at life gain. Even if you completely block, you can only do... oh, wait a second. Hang on. I'm sorry. This does have more counters, so it might be a bit better. So it's 5, 6. So even if I stack block, they cannot take out Tifa, but it's going to be 5, 6, 7 damage getting stopped. That's 17 damage going through on the 12. It's still well more than commander damage of 21. Life gain is out of the game already. Alrighty then. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Everyone else is shaking in their booties. What the heck, man? I thought this was supposed to be a casual game. What the hell is this? Where did we start playing CDH? I can untap, upkeep, draw. Upkeep. I do get another clue. Now, one of the reasons why we have a bit of a chance is because knowing that Azusa Lost for Seeking the Helix Pinnacle deck is so very weak. I did put a ton of fog spells in it, and I happen to have 2 of them in my hand. So theoretically, within a game, Tifa might be oh, well, you're, not even doing anything. You're not a threat. I'm going to go after them first or whatever. It actually depends because based on what's in the hand, we might actually come over here. So we've only got 2 chances to slow her down and stop her. But beyond that, going to tap 2 and play Root Rider Fawn. It's a 1/3 mana dork, makes 1 green mana, and you can pay 1 and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Obviously, we don't care about that point. I'm going to tap 1 to play the enchantment Miri's Guile. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. This is in there specifically to try and help find Helix Pinnacle first. There is also a Millennium Calendar in here as a secondary win con of the similar nature. Tap everything for mana, let the mana fizzle, but then on untap, you get counters on Millennium Calendar. So there's nothing else we can do right now. Gonna go ahead and pass turn. All right, Wizards has got to really pull out some crazy stuff if they're gonna try and win. So we untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Going to play another mountain. Can we do this? I think we might be able to, because currently Tifa is back down to a 3/4. Yeah, we're golden. Sucks to be you. We're gonna tap a red, tap Soul Ring, and then tap 1 more. So we've got a total of 4 mana to cast Thunder Magic. On cast, each opponent is going to take 3 damage. Thunder Magic is an instant that costs 1 red mana, and then you can pick one of the 3 modes. I'm picking Thundara for 3. Thunder Magic deals 4 damage to target creature. Sorry, not sorry. But there's nothing they can do. They have no kind of protection. The enchantment goes away as well. And now Tifa costs 2 more to cast. Then I will tap 4 mana to play Goblin War Party. I'm going to choose to make 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. So each of my opponents has taken 3 damage, and we've made 3 1/1 goblin creature tokens. The premise of the deck is, of course, to play as many non-creature spells as possible, but there's a lot of creatures in the deck also that do similar ping. So we've got everything that makes these little 0/1 wizards, or is a 0/1 wizard that can deal damage. Then we also have your standards like Firebrand Archer and Electric Static Field, things like that are going to also ping. Because even if the commander gets blown up, there should be a bunch of extra ways to deal damage. And most of the spells that we're casting are like Goblin War Party. They make tokens, either zombies or goblins, so that I have a board state to block with while I try and gear up and take everyone down with indirect damage. I only have 1 mana left, nothing I can do with that. I could swing now with my flying commander. Sure, why not? You're scary, so we're going to send 2 Death Touchy Commander at you. But then we will pass turn. And see, this is how it is, because Tifa is super powerful, but unless you've got some stuff on her, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, something that gives her hexproof or indestructible if there's a board wipe, this is going to happen. Upkeep, draw. That is a really good card to draw for her. I'm going to play a forest, tap 2, and then tap 1 more because green spells cost 1 less, so that helps with the commander tax, to recast Tifa. I will then tap 1 for adventuring gear that I told you about, and pay 1 to equip it to Tifa. So adventuring gear is a landfall trigger. It says when a land you control enters, equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So that really helps with buffing her backside as well. So you play a land, she gets +2/+2, then her power doubles. And if you play another one, she gets another +2/+2, and then it doubles again. So we move to the beginning of combat. She now becomes a 2/2. Well, actually a 2/4. And Destiny Spinner becomes a 4/6. So, I mean, that's not nothing. We could theoretically swing with Destiny Spinner. They could stack block and kill Destiny Spinner. And I would take most of their stuff out. So I don't know that they would... I would probably get rid of the goblins. Not really super concerning. And probably just best to leave up a blocker at this point. I've got 3 mana left and a spell that I could play, but it's irrelevant because Tifa doesn't have haste. So we're going to pass turn. Untap. Upkeep, I get another clue, and I get to look at the top 3 cards of my library and put them back in any order. All right, we're going to put them back like that and then draw a card for turn. All right, so I'm going to sacrifice 3 clues and tap Tamio's Journal to go and look for a specific card. I'm also going to tap 3 and play Beneath the Sands. Actually, I would have to do it in the other order, I guess. Search your library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle, just so I can do all of that at once. I will put Helix Pinnacle into my hand, tapping 1 to then play Helix Pinnacle. Has Shroud, so it's going to be harder to destroy. And you can pay X, put X tower counters on Helix Pinnacle. When it has 100 or more of them, I win the game. I do have a Nyxos Shrine to Nyx out here, but we'll worry about that next turn. I will be tapping 1, 2, 3, 4 to put 4 counters on the Helix Pinnacle. A long way from 100, but we'll see. Nothing else we can do, we'll pass turn. Now, if you have any thoughts for the Helix Pinnacle deck, you can go check out my Moxfield. Links are in the description below, along with my other socials. Let me know if you can think of better cards or more cards to put in that would not only get me the Helix Pinnacle, but help protect it and help to ramp up the amount of counters I can put on it. So we come over here, we untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play a swamp for turn. Going to tap a swamp and Soul Ring to play Transpose. On cast, each opponent takes 2 damage. Transpose says draw a card, then discard a card. I will go ahead and discard the Riveter's Overlook. You lose 1 life, down to 39. Oh no, my flawless victory. And if this spell was cast from your hand, which it was, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, etc., etc. So I now have 2 of these little wizard tokens. Now, unfortunately, I have a draw spell in my hand, but because it's red, you have to discard to use it, and this is the only card in my hand. So I have to wait till next turn before I can even attempt to use the Witch's Mark card that I have, and that's assuming I don't draw something really good that I actually want to play. It would have just been nice to be able to fire off another spell this turn. I think we can probably assume, especially since I have 39 life, that, and you know, they are so far away from the Helix Pinnacle winning, Tifa is going to come in this direction. We've got some blockers. I'm certainly not going to block with the Black Waltz, so I'll just send 2 damage in the air again, Commander, at you. Really don't think that's going to be an issue, but we'll track it just in case. That's 4 total. But then we're going to go ahead and pass. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Oh yeah. Green spells cost 1 less thanks to the Emerald Medallion, so we're going to tap 3 to equip Tifa with Bear Umbra. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, and whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. That's really good if we have a bunch of cards in hand, because then we can play more stuff second main phase. We're not, because we're going to actually try and get some damage in right now. So currently, Tifa, once more, is a 3/4, thanks to the things. We're going to tap 2 mana to play Cultivate. Search your library for 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put 1 in your hand, 1 on the battlefield, and then shuffle. I haven't played a land for turn, so I'm just going to play them both, which will allow for the triggers twice. So, with the adventuring gear, when a land enters, creature gets +2/+2. So she becomes a 5/6, and then doubles to a 10/6. The second land enters, she becomes 12/8, and then doubles to a 24/8. We then move to the beginning of combat. We're doubling that again to a 48/16, with trample. Suck on that. Regrettably, I don't believe there's anything they can do about it. Even if they stack blocked everything, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can absorb 8 of the damage of that 48, which means they take 40 commander damage. They are done. Like we said, there's nothing in their hand. There's nothing they can do. Kabam. As you can see, Tifa dominating the game. Fun to see, great to see, but at the same time, I would like to showcase the other decks to you guys as well. We'll see what happens in the next 2 matchups, and we're not done just yet. Helix Pinnacle, like we said, has some fogs. We'll see. But we pass turn. We untap over here. On upkeep, we get a clue token, and we get to look at the top 3. Put those back and draw this one. So I'm going to tap 3 mana to play the Weirding Wood. Once again, I'm going to enchant a land. This one says, when it enters the battlefield, I get to investigate, so I get another clue. And then when enchanted land has, I can tap it and add 2 mana of any one color. So here's the way this works. I have Haze of Pollen, which prevents all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. It costs 2 mana. This now taps for 2. If I tapped all available mana-producing things and dumped them into the Helix Pinnacle, but left this 2 up, it would be relatively obvious. Leaving any mana up when I have the Helix Pinnacle is kind of going to be a red flag. But if I leave this up and maybe leave up the Root Rider farm as a blocker, 3 toughness, but then again, that's true, we got 3 toughness, it doesn't really matter. I think at this point, you kind of just got to go for it. So we're going to tap 2 and tap Nykthos Shrine to Nyxos, or to Nyx, to add mana equal to your devotion to the mana pool. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tapping 3 mana gets us 5 mana. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We now have 14 mana, or 14 counters on Helix Pinnacle with 2 mana up. Not much else we can do. We pass turn. They're going to be like, I see you. Someone else at the table might be like, oh, you missed 2. It's like, shut up. I know I missed 2. Maybe I'm going to try and crack a clue and see if I get something, but you wouldn't have mana to use whatever you draw off the clue anyway, so it's still pretty obvious. We untap over here. We upkeep. We draw. Thankfully, it's a forest because we have nothing in our hand, and while she has the Bear Umbra on, that only makes her a 3/4. So without playing something, she's not big anymore. But we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to play a forest. She gets +2 from the adventuring gear, which makes her a 5, and then that doubles to 10. We move to the beginning of combat, it doubles again to 20. We can say, you've got something, but I'm going to go ahead and swing. I swing a 10 whatever commander damage, or a 20 commander at you. In response, I'm going to tap. I'm going to Haze of Pollen, prevent all combat damage. Everyone's like, yo, we all knew that was there. Fine, you win this round, but the war rages on. We'll pass turn. We then untap over here. We get to make another clue. Now, the problem is, under this circumstance, because Tifa is so dangerous, I can't crack any of the clues. I need to try and put as much into Helix Pinnacle as possible while leaving mana up for the couple fog spells. If it was a relatively normal going game, I'd crack some of these and try and draw into something, if nothing else, draw into more fog spells. But we do get to look at the top 3 and rearrange. Put those there. Draw this card, which is just a land. We will play the land for turn. So now this one taps for 3 mana, so that's where we're going to leave up for the Clinging Mists. I'm going to go ahead and tap this for 2 and crack a clue. I know what they are, the things, but just trying to get cards out of the way, because the next 2 cards aren't super helpful, so gotta try and get through them. Oh wait, no, that's dumb. What am I thinking? Crack all 3 clues, tap it to go get a card. And so here's the funny thing. I'm gonna go ahead and get Constant Mists. It's an instant that has buyback, so if you sacrifice a land, instead of putting it in your graveyard, you put it back into your hand, and creatures deal no combat damage this turn. Now, sacrificing all the lands to buy time also lowers how much mana I can put into Helix Pinnacle. However, if we can slow them down enough, we'll see. I don't know. But I want to save that, so then we're going to go 1. So we'll tap this 3 to make 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 this time. So now we have 26 counters on Helix Pinnacle. I mean, it's kind of funny. Theoretically, you could... the problem is that we're going to start sacrificing forests, and then that drastically lowers the amount we can put. It's just not going to be viable, but it's funny. We pass turn. They're like, oh, you left 3 mana up this time, and though your blocker down. I don't like that. But we untap, upkeep, draw, and see, now here's where we start to stall out, because we're not getting... we have no draw spells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play Rampaging Balos. They are a 6/6 with trample that says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 4/4 green beast token. It does say you may, so if you miss it, you miss it. However, that's it. We are top decking. We have nothing in our hands, so we can't have Tifa get really big. As of right now, she is a 3/4. We move to the beginning of combat. That becomes a 6/8. So we'll swing it, and I'm not going to waste the mana, so I will take the 6, and now we have 6 commander damage. It's not horrible, but we do have to be concerned with that. Now, they're going to pass turn, and of course we're going to say, well, at your end step, then I'm going to go ahead and tap 3 to put 3 more counters on up to 29. Because at least we can do that if we don't use the mana. So then we untap over here, get a clue, look at the top 3. I'll draw this, tap for 3, play a Decanter of Endless Water, so it taps for any color, and I have no maximum hand size. I guess we'll just do it like this for ease of visuals. Tap these 3 for that, leave this 3 open for the Clinging Mists, and then we can then go ahead and tap everything else. Tap these to make 5 mana, 6, 7, 8, 9, tap for 10 and 11. So we are at 40. I mean, that's not shabby. 40 counters, it's getting up there. We're going to pass. This is hilarious that this is what it's come down to. Tifa out of the gate, going crazy, wiping 2 people, no problem, bam, bam, and then suddenly stalling because we don't have any card draw. But we're going to untap, draw for turn. Okay, this will help us with card draw. So I am going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play the Caged Sun, declaring green. So creatures you control of the chosen type get plus, or chosen color get +1/+1, and whenever a land's ability adds 1 mana to a chosen color, it adds an additional. So it makes all of my lands tap for more, which is great, but I don't have anything to play. So Tifa is currently a 4/5. Move to the beginning of combat, she becomes an 8/10, and we do have the 6/6 Baloth. So now that's not commander damage, of course. It's still just good damage, though. So now we've got an 8 commander damage and 6 more. So that's 14 damage coming in. We're only at 22 life. If it was just one or the other, we'd probably take it, but we gotta be like, all right, sorry. Tapping 3, Clinging Mists, no combat damage. Our creatures don't deal damage. And they're like, oh my god, how many of those do you have? And I'm like, a lot. But that's all we can do. We pass turn. And also, I have to admit, I forgot. When I played Caged Sun, I thought it was the one that gets you an extra card when at your draw step. That's the other one. I can't remember what it is right now, but it's the one that, like, Planeswalker abilities can't be activated and blah, blah, blah. But at least it gives her the +1/+1, because that is important. It helps to buff the toughness as well, so still important for the deck. So we come over here, we untap, we upkeep, get an extra clue. Look at the top 3, put them back like that, draw this, and I will tap these 2 to play Leafkin Druid, a 0/3 that adds a green mana. If you control 4 or more creatures, you add 2 mana instead. Now this time we only need 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to put 12, so that puts us at 52. We are halfway. That's still a long way to go. And now, like I said, we're going to have to start losing lands if we want to protect ourselves, which is one of the reasons why I made sure to put that Leafkin Druid, because at least that's a mana source that we don't have to try and sacrifice. We go ahead and pass turn. We untap, we upkeep, we draw. Not super great. We're going to tap a green to play Explore, because green spells cost 1 less. You may play an additional land this turn, which we don't have, but we can draw a card. Boom, it is a land, thank goodness. So Tifa is currently a 2, 3, 4. We're going to play a land. She's going to get 2, up to a 6, double that to 12. We are going to get a 4/4 green beast. Then we move to the beginning of combat. She doubles again to 24, whatever, a little bit irrelevant. And we're going to swing both again. This time it's like, okay, I'm going to tap 2, sacrifice this forest, constant miss with buyback. Goes back to my hand. Everyone's like, oh my god, you've got a constant miss with buyback. Come on. Depending on how the game was pretty quick, so I don't think anyone's complaining about how long it's taking. They might be laughing over here. This person is being like, come on, man, just take the loss and let's play a different game. It's like, no, I'm going to make you work for it, jerk. We've got no other abilities. Oh, I have been forgetting. I can untap my lands whenever she attacks with all that, regardless of whether she does damage. But again, I have no creature. I have nothing in hand to play on second main phase, so it was irrelevant. We pass turn. Untap, upkeep, we get a clue. Get a clue, man. And we look at the top 3. Yeah, we're definitely going to put that on the top and draw it. So I'm going to tap 2, Paw Patch Formation. Choose one. Destroy target creature with flying, destroy target enchantment, or draw a card, create a food. We're going to destroy Unnatural Growth. I can't believe Tifa is getting held off by the Helix Pinnacle deck. I think it heard me talking, and the Helix Pinnacle's like, yo, I can be badass. You just watch me. I am going to sacrifice 3 clues, tap Tamiyo's Journal, and go look for something. It's hilarious that I'm using Tamiyo's Journal like this, but I'm going to go get Lull, which is an instant that prevent all combat damage that we dealt this turn. Because now I don't have to sacrifice. It buys me one more turn where I don't have to sacrifice a land. So I just need 2 for that to work. So we're tapping that for 3. We're tapping these. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Tapping these 3 to make 6. Another 3 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We are at 66. It's actually starting to be a concern at this point that the Helix Pinnacle might actually pull it off. We're going to pass turn. Everyone's like, he's got 2 mana up, dude. And when they know I have the constant mist with buyback anyway. So they have to realize that I can keep doing it as long as I have lands and as long as I want to. And at this point, well, again, we would need some sort of really good ramp out of nowhere to get to the point where it's like we've got like 14 or 15 mana going into the Helix Pinnacle every turn so that we can lose 4 or 5 lands, and then those 4 or 5 turns would buy us enough time to finish it up. But we might have it. Untap, upkeep, draw, not a land. So we're going to tap 2 to play Canker Bloom. It's a 3/2 that says pay 1, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, and proliferate. However, Helix Pinnacle does have Shroud, so that does make it extremely difficult to get rid of. You have to like bounce all non-land permanents or destroy all non-land permanents. You can't target it with a specific enchantment removal spell. And without Unnatural Growth, that definitely hurts Tifa's ability to really get through. However, again, 22 life. So she is a 1, 2, 3, and that's it, really, because we can't play a land. And a 4. She's a 4 with Cage Sun. But they are wide open. So at this point, you kind of want to force them to use their spells. So yeah, we're swinging with everything over here. So that's easily 14 damage. Heck, even swing this, why not? It's still just a 2, but now it's 16 damage coming at you. You're like, yeah, cool. Tap 2. Oh, let me guess. Constant Mist. No. Lull. I'm not getting rid of a land. They're like, oh, that's what we went and got. Like, you son of a bitch. Nothing we can do. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Make a clue. Look at our top 3. Okay. Again, that's not bad. I keep putting the same 2 cards back because the 3rd card ends up being something decent. So I'm going to tap these 3 to play Cultivate. We put a land on the battlefield tapped and another one into my hand, but since I haven't played a land, we play it for turn. And see, now we're getting to the point where like constant miss with buyback, we actually might have a shot at this. So again, we need to leave 2 mana up, and we're going to tap these 3 to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 based off of devotion. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 80. That is 80 exactly. So basically, we just have to, that's it. I think we kind of have game at this point, because now we just need to stall for 2 more turns. We can definitely sacrifice 2 lands to get that, and we'll still be able to put a minimum of 10 next turn and the turn after, even with sacrificing 2 lands. That is hilarious. All right, so we pass turn. Tifa's now steaming, super pissed off, like, what the heck? I got this badass deck, and you're stopping me with a stupid-ass Helix Pinnacle. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. It is a forest, so that's cool. We're going to play said forest, which will give us an extra Rampaging Baloth baby green beast thingy. 4 goes to 6, doubles to 12. We go ahead and send these guys over. 18 total damage. Once again, we tap for 2, sacrifice a forest, constant miss with buyback. It goes back to our hand. You know, he throws his hands up in the air. There's nothing we can really do. Second main phase, I mean, we could crack that. But again, the only thing we can take out would be the Tamiyo's Journal or the Miri's Guide. Both good cards to take out. Or we could take out one of these enchantments on the lands to lower the amount of mana they have. That's actually not a horrible idea. But I don't know that that's going to matter too much. Really, any of these 4 are actually good targets. Because this one, maybe not so much. But the one that makes the land tap for 3 total, that would be good because that would drop total mana value down by 2. This, you know, we know what happens when they get to 3. They go looking for another fog spell or something like it. And the Miri's Guide, they can look at the top 3 and find a fog spell or find an extra land to play to compensate for buyback. So I think we'll tap 1, sacrifice it to blow up the Miri's Guile. To at least do that. And I honestly don't know how I put those cards back, so it might not. There was a land in the top 2, but I don't think it's on top, so we'll see. But they pass. We come back over here. We untap. Upkeep, we make another clue. And then we draw. And it was not, in fact, the... oh, but that's hilarious. It's a Nature Spiral. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. We could go get the Guile back, but it's really in there to go get Helix Pinnacle when, if someone's able to destroy it. So I'll leave that just because of that. We don't want to go crazy. All right, so this is our 2. So we tap for, now that is lower, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 96. Next turn, Helix Pinnacle pops. Why can't this kind of stuff happen when I'm playing against real people? This would be hilarious. I mean, of course it does it in my goofy little one-on-ones, but whatever. Pass over to Tifa. Untap. I guess I would have untapped that way. Draw for turn. Super good card for this deck. I'll play it so you can see it. We tap, actually I only have to tap 1 since the mana is doubled and Emerald Medallion says they cost less. For Hydra's Growth, to enchant Tifa, when Hydra's Growth enters the battlefield, put a counter on enchanted creature, which is Tifa, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of counters on enchanted creature. Great because she has trample, great because it also buffs her toughness, not great because she's not going to get through. So, she is currently 2, 3, 4, 5. She's a 5. We didn't play a land because that was our top deck. So she's just a 5, and there's really not even a point in swinging because we know it's not going to get through, and 5 commander damage isn't even going to matter anyway. But we're going to swing the board because screw you, man. You're going to use it. So there we go. We've got 19, 20, 21 damage coming at you, almost enough to actually kill you. No, I think it will, because this is buffing all of the green creatures, so it is more than enough to kill you without commander damage. Cool. Tap 2, sacrifice this land. We constant miss with buyback. We could actually just constant miss without the buyback if we wanted, but best to do it just in case. I mean, we know they have no cards in hand, etc. But in a real game, there's so many crazy cards that, somehow do something. Like, they could tap this and whatever and get a card and whatever. Do the buyback. They're like, I can't believe I'm losing to that stupid card. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Get the 3rd clue if we need it. Draw for turn. It is a land. We play the land. We tap everything. Not everything, but almost everything. This makes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ba-boom. Helix Pinnacle hits over 100 counters, and that is the winner. You are the Dunzo, Tifa. Wow. I just can't. It's totally because I started the episode saying it. That's why. I was like, oh, Helix Pinnacle is so undermatched for this. It was stupid to put it against these other decks. And Tifa's so overpowered. She's going to, raffle stomp through all of these. It's like, no. Helix Pinnacle wins. But that is just match 1. So what do you think? Do you like Helix Pinnacle deck? It's pretty goofy. There really should be a lot more. There should be more card draw. I have a few other things that can get me some cards. Ideally to play, more creatures that are mana dorks. I also have doubling cube in here, which is really helpful. Pay 3, tap it to double the amount of mana that's on the stack, sort of. It's like you tap everything out, make 10 mana, use 3 of it to double the 7 to 14. That's how it works. So that could speed things up. But yeah, having the, that's why all the fog spells are in there, obviously, to just buy me time to get there. And because Tifa took those 2 out so quickly, no one else could help them get rid of me. So it was Tifa kind of did it to herself. But what are you going to do? You have those kind of hits, you take them. You wouldn't hold back. Because he was gearing up pretty well. That wasn't doing anything crazy just yet. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you saw some really cool cards that you want to put in your decks. Let me know if you have any of these commanders. How did you build them? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.